Okay, we're about to start. Sikuan ba? Councilor Balabaw ato gyapon. Okay, we're about to start. Wala. Wa man ko nagtingog, ngano man to ni Tin? Sikuan ba? Councilor Balabaw ato gyapon. Okay, we're about to start. Wala. Wa man ko nagtingog, ngano man to ni Tin? Sikuan ba? Councilor Balabaw ato gyapon. Okay, we're about to start. Okay, eighth regular session of the 21st City Council is now called to order. Invocation ba, Honorable Council? Wala man si Councilor Balaba. Kinsa may mo mga G. Kinsa man? Kinsa Tripoli? Councilor Tabak na lang. Okay, invocation by Councilor Tabak. Nauntol. Councilor Marlo Tabak. And followed by the singing of Lupang Hinirang and the Cagayan de Oro March. Please rise.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Graciously God, we are very happy this afternoon that your leaders gathered once again to discuss matters related to our public service. Ginoo, kami naghahangyo nga imong ipadala ang imong balaan nga espiritu nga mo'y magbukas sa among kasing-kasing ug mga hunahuna aron kining among mga pagahimuon subay ug sibo sa imong kabubuton. We offer this event to you, O Lord. This we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. In the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Ug sibo sa imong kabubuton. We offer this event to you, O Lord.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kababayan, isang auna ng Pilipinas.
Please be seated. Mr. Secretary, please do the roll call.
Honorable City Vice Mayor Jocelyn B. Rodriguez, presiding officer. For the first district councilors, Honorable Desiree Ann M. Dahino, Honorable Roger G. Abaday, Honorable Juancho R. Pascual, Honorable Agapito Heriberto G. Swan, Honorable George Christopher Q. Goking, Honorable Moreno Y. Daba Defort, Honorable Alpi Legaspi Sr., Honorable Amy Rose P. Moreno. For the second district councilors, Honorable Ibuna Yasin B. Imano, Honorable Maximo T. Rodriguez III, Honorable Paulo Nicolo Gaani, Honorable Jolene Mercedes L. Balaba, Honorable Yanlam S. Lim, Honorable Enrico D. Salcedo, Honorable Hilda O. Go, Honorable Edgar S. Cabanlas. For the ex-officio members, Honorable Marlo L. Tabak, Liga ng mga Barangay President, Honorable Kenneth John D. Sakala, City Escape Federation President on official business, and Honorable Dato Roberto P. Cabaring, IPMR. There is quorum, Madam Presiding Officer.
Quorum is hereby certified. So may hapon natong tanan. Of course, the honorables of the 21st City Council, may hapon, our friends from media who are here, our guests and visitors, and those who are watching us right now. So everybody, congratulations for the Higalay Festival. It was a succeed. It was indeed a success. We'd like also to congratulate Mayor Clarence Uy and the rest of the partners that we have nga nahimog yung successful ang fiesta sa atong Senior San Agustin. So, of course, the honorable members, daghang salamat sa inyong partisipasyon sa atong Higalaay Festival. So let us proceed. Majority Floor Leader, Attorney Edgar Cabanlas.
Thank you very much, our indefatigable Vice Mayor, Libot Rodriguez, members of Council, friends what present with us this afternoon in the gallery, people of Cagayan de Oro, maayong hapon sa tanan. Again, thank you for congratulations to all of us, the people of Cagayan de Oro, for that amazing celebration of our festival. Madam Chair, may I move to dispense the reading of the minutes of the previous regular session of this council on August 18, 2025, and consider the furnishing copies thereof as reading itself.
Any second? Objection? I hear none. Motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second. Objection? I hear none. Motion is hereby carried.
On the special report portion, Madam Chair, there are 4 members of the City Council who intend to render the special reports. First, Councilor Inguna Yazini Imano, with regards to pet-friendly business establishment and public places. Second, Councilor Desiree Ann Dahino, regarding child trafficking issues and concerns. Third, Councilor Enrico D. Salcedo, with regards to proposal to revisit Ordinance Number 13-378/218, Integrated Ecological Solid Waste Management Ordinance of Cagayan de Oro City. And fourth, Councilor Roger Abaday, we will consider that as part of the special report with regards to the reaction of some Cagayanons vis-a-vis the declaration, the cutting off of signals during some events of our Higala Eye Festival. So that is the order of business today with regards to special report. May I move, Madam Chair, that Councilor Emmanuel be recognized first.
Councilor Ibimano, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and good afternoon. Subli, maayong hapon sa ato, tanan sa 21st City Council, sa gapaminaw sa ato sa media, sa tanan tao nga galantaw o gapaminaw sa ato karong hapon. Madam Chair, this special report is quite light only. It is an observation that I had recently during the successful fiesta activity of Senior San Agustin. And this is to encourage business establishments to be open to having pet-friendly environments or to allow pets in their establishments or rather included in public places. Recent years, the bond between human and animal, man and their pets, have grown stronger, especially during the pandemic. Now, many families now consider their pets, of course, as part of their families as well. Gani, tawag sa pipila, they have fur babies, to name a few. So they're not just companions, they're emotional support, relief of stress, ang uban kinahanglan for medical conditions. But the bottom line of this is their pets become their joy, their security, and their companion in public and in private areas. So I think as a progressive city, it is timely that we also look into ways of encourage and create more pet-friendly spaces in our community. So there are 4 points that I would like to share for the consideration of this special report or privileged speech that I have today. So if we do have pet-friendly establishments and encourage such, there is a study that shows that there would be economic benefits kay mas daghan pet owners magdugay og moadto og establishments kung maapil og madala nila ang ilahang mga pets. Now there is this study, and I hope that we could also look into it later on as I give my prayer for this this privileged speech. The second is tourism. It is said that cities who allow pets in establishments, mas daghan turista gaabot og gasulod. Hotels, restaurants, cafes. Some malls already in the city are allowing pets, but maybe we need to further expand, those who are open to this possibility, future possibility of having pets in not just a few, but rather in private and in public establishments. The third would be community wellness. So pets have a profound effect on the mental and the emotional health of people. So pipila, the mga sitwasyon, when there are pets, people feel more at ease, so they tend to go back more to these establishments. That gives them comfort, that welcomes them, that allows them to be themselves. And lastly, this would also be a venue for us to have more responsible pet policies. There is an RA, or Republic Act 9482, which is the Anti-Rabies Act of the Philippines. We could get and we can use this act to add to the policies nato nga hopefully we can make nga kanan dapat kung public areas, they'd be on leash. The owners would be responsible of taking care of kanang silang dirt. They would have diapers. So only domesticated and well-trained pets, and also those who have responsible owners as well. So there will be guidelines, and this will open discussion. Maybe further on also, naputay penalties for those who will not follow the guidelines, if so ever this works. And I hope it does. So those are the 4 points that I would like to share with you. And I hope that we can discuss this further in the committee level. And for prayer, Madam Chair, I wish to have this discussed in a few committees, specifically tourism and health and agriculture. These 3 committees to tackle this. And maybe also in the discussion, we can also ask business owners, those who are running our public areas, to also give no, their opinions about this. Because again, Cagayan de Oro City, we are known to be a city of golden friendship, warmth and compassion. And also with this, maybe also encourage again pet-friendly establishments. And again, as I mentioned also earlier, that this sprouted from the Festa because there is one vlogger, Madam Chair. I'm not sure if you know him, but he is a neighbor of Councilor Abaday in Barangay Kauswagan. No,
Councilor Abaday knows that perhaps.
si TJ the Explorer, he's a dog.
Ah.
And siya ang vlogs about the city, about establishments, about sa events sa fiesta. And he's always there. Kung masinabantayan ninyo siya, nakahigala ay uniform po siya during the fiesta activities. And he promotes everything that the LGU does, as well as, again, other establishments. Pero, maski unsaon niya og-promote for free, Madam Chair, there are certain areas nga hindi siya pwede, like in the boulevards, whenever siya sa gawas. But he is the one that, people follow. He is the one that, he is considered an influencer of the city. So sa iya nag-sprout. So if we can help him promote, as he promotes our city, we are also helping and being open to those also who have other pets in our city, Madam Chair. So I know you would understand because you yourself mentioned you also have fur babies, Madam
Yeah.
Chair. And that's why I wish to discuss this further because I really think this would help individuals as well as establishments, holistic no ang atong matabangan ani if so ever this pushes through, and I hope so. Again, Madam Chair, thank you very much. Good afternoon og may hapon ta.
Okay, thank you. So, so it's your neighbor. Okay, Councilor Roger Abaday, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Presiding Officer, Vice Mayor Jocelyn Bibot Rodriguez, my colleagues in the 21st City Council, and all those who are watching us on live stream and here in the gallery. May hapon sa tanan, maayad na anlaw sa tanan. Hapon.
Ngayong hapon.
Okay, now this is just the correlate with the good reporter from Councilor from Gusa, AB Mano, with regards to this very interesting report because this is in compliance with the law, no, was cited Animal Welfare Act. So now there are people or pet owners who love dogs, cat, or other pet animals more than human. Because for them, it improves physical and mental health, linked to lower stress levels, improve cardiovascular health, and reduce loneliness. Now, under the law, Animal Welfare Act, is a law designed to protect and promote the welfare of all animals in the Philippines. Now, the Act mandates the registration and licensing of facilities that house animals, ensuring the most specific standard for animals' care and welfare. It explicitly prohibits acts of cruelty, maltreatment, torture, and neglect of animals, especially in the establishment. Now, for business establishment, like malls, has advantages as they allow and provide pet animals house. For example, the Bonifacio Global City, the BGC, managed by a private corporation, is a well-known pet-friendly district. However, its rules are set by state management, not by LGU. But pet owners can secure pet pass and must adhere to specific rules. The major chains, mall chains, not in Cagayan de Oro, like Manila, like Ayala, SM, Robinson Malls, have established their own set of rules for allowing pets, requiring pet diapers, keeping pets, carriers, strollers, and presenting vaccination records, and some malls ensure pet IDs are passed. Now, what is the relation on this? According to study, dili sa Pilipinas, kundi sa US study, the US Conference of Mayors and Massachusetts Pet Care, that 56% of business owners strongly agreed that pet-friendly businesses are good for community. 82% of mayors said providing pet-friendly amenities can have an overall positive economic impact in their community. 80% of millennial and Gen Z pet parents prioritize finding pet-friendly accommodations when they travel. Madam Chair and my colleague. Now, I have to rejoin with the reporter if I am suggesting to collaborate with her if she may to craft a proposed ordinance that or suggestion that the policy that the LGUs can adopt to establish and encourage pet-friendly business establishment here in the city. And this framework is designed to be a comprehensive, balancing, and the interests of business owners and pet owners in general public. So later on in the committee, I will propose that we will pass an ordinance with regards to pet owners and pet-friendly business establishment here in the city. We will introduce later on in the committee meeting as proposed the proposed ordinance framework, Madam Chair and my colleagues. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Councilor Desdahino.
Maayong hapon, Madam Chair, and to the members of the 21st City Council. I would like to commend Councilor Evie's report because I too am a pet lover. I have 4 golden retrievers and 2 pugs. However, I would also like to share to the body, especially to the fur parents, that there was this post manggod went viral. Now there were some pet owners washing their pets in the baby washing area. So it was I'm a parent myself, so I would just like to add this na there were concerns among the parents and public about hygiene and child safety, as such areas are intended solely for infants and children and toddlers. Yes, toddlers. So I would also like to remind the fur parents about that when it's for children and toddlers, it's really for children and toddlers. We can't mix that because even though we call them fur babies, infant child is different from a fur baby. So we may need to explore clear guidelines, proper signages, and stricter enforcement to ensure these facilities remain safe and sanitary for the children. Thank you, Madam
Okay,
Chair.
thank you very much. Councilor Paulo Gani? Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May hapon, Honorable Vice Mayor Bebot Rodriguez, members of the 21st City Council, may hapon kaninong tanan. As Chairman of the Committee on Health, Madam Chair, I would like to work with the proposal of Councilor Evie Imano, but I would suggest a joint committee meeting with Trade and Commerce along with the
Yeah.
Committee on Agriculture, Madam Chair.
Yeah,
That's all.
correct.
Thank
That's
you.
good. Okay, we'll refer to the Committee on Tourism, Health, Agriculture, Trade and Commerce. Mora ba? Okay. Sige, thank you. Yes, Councilor Antoy, you want to add something?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Esteemed colleagues, fellow councilors, distinguished guests, good afternoon. As Vice Chairman for the Committee on Tourism and Chairman for Committee on Agriculture, I would love to discuss this further in the
Okay,
meeting days.
thank you. When I say that it is referred, then it is already referred. No? But then I am very considerate, okay? It's okay. It's okay. When I say that it's going to be referred, then that's it. Okay? Otherwise, before ko musulti og refer, then you raise your hand fast. I would love to join. Pero naingon ako refer to it, then we stop. Okay? Para dili na mataas. Okay? Thank you. I understand you, Councilor Antoy Pascual. So our next speaker is Councilor Des Dahino. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mayong hapon pag-usap.
Kaduhan na ha.
Oh.
Kaduhan lang na nimong may hapon, di ba?
Yes, I said
Okay.
yes. Yes, Vice.
Kausa lang ta.
Anyway,
Anyway, that is also good. Okay.
so let me share to this body a police blotter on Police Station 4 Carmen last July 21, 2025. Madam Chair, a worried mother from Zone 7 Patag, let's call her Nanay M, filed a missing persons report. Her 14-year-old son, let's call him Dudong, not his real name, could not be found. Here's what we know. His son's companion and friend, Boy, let's call him Boy, not his real name also, 12 years old, said a stranger named Randy offered to give them 5,000 pesos to sell fruits for him. Sounds harmless until it wasn't. Boy further stated that they went to Bulwa Terminal and boarded on a bus headed to Dumaguete City in Negros and eventually to Bacolod City. However, Boy managed to return to Cagayan de Oro days after. Kaya according to him, sabaan daw kay siya, dili daw ganahan si Randy sa iya. That's why he got back to Cagayan de Oro. While the complainant's son, Dudong, is still reported missing, still in Bacolod City with Randy. This did not happen in some far-flung province or a dark alley. It happened right here in a broad daylight. That's how real and close this threat is. So Barangay Patag, BCPC, team jumped into action upon Barangay Captain's instruction. BCPC focal person Ruth Makahilas and her assistant Lourdes Braga immediately coordinated with PNP and NBI. Barangay Captain Eric Abaday even shouldered the cost for Dudong's father to travel to Negros to look for his boy. But there's a heartbreaking truth. Dudong's father is still searching. Still no sign of the child. So out of desperation, he even considering to go to Rafi Tulfo to Manila to ask for help. So we salute Kapitan Eric Abaday and the BCPC team. The urgency brought precious time, but without the boy home safe, the fight isn't over yet. So let's be real. Child trafficking is not a one-off problem. It's not rare. It's here. It's happening. Many cases just never get reported. In fact, the lola of Boy does not want Boy to participate in the interview because I interviewed with the father. The lola doesn't want Boy to be further questioned because according to the lola, she said na, di rin gyapon tatabangan na anak, kay nawala gyapon ang akong anak sa una. So still, it didn't, at her time, wala na report. So every day we delay, another child could be groomed, recruited, or taken. We cannot just respond to each cases after the fact. We need to shut down the loopholes and the choke point traffickers exploit, such as our terminals, barangays, and borders. This case is more than a tragedy. It's a red flag waving right in our faces. And if we ignore it, the next Dudong could be someone else's child tomorrow. So existing legal tools. So our city already has strong ordinances for child protection. For instance, we have the Unaccompanied Child Protection Ordinance authored by former City Councilor Inday Dahino, which addressed the risk faced by minors traveling without guardians. Likewise, Ordinance 13394-2018, also known as the Cagayan de Oro City's Comprehensive Children's Welfare Code of 2018 laid down broader safeguards for children's welfare passed by the 18th City Council. So additionally, the 2024 Anti-OSAEC Ordinance institutionalized stronger local response to online sexual abuse and exploitation of children, passing decisive measures and strengthening the justice zone coordination via Supreme Court-led efforts. Yet, with the case in hand, a 14-year-old still missing and a trafficker operating in daylight. According to mga tao sa Barangay Patag, this so-called name Randy gaatang sa mga computeran. That's what they said. So what were the limitations of the existing ordinance and its enforcement? What were the loopholes? Why local enforcements failed to intercept dangerous actors in the terminal? Did the tools fail to mobilize rapid response, intelligence, and rescue? So we must act now. Children, number one, children are vulnerable. Ordinance without enforcements are hollow. Laws must be translated into swift protection, not words on paper. So what must happen immediately? So one, A, Emergency Child Extraction and Response Protocol, SERP. So activate an immediate preservation and response teams at terminals, barangay levels, and PNP or NBI desks. Hot pursuit, rapid tracing, mobile tracking, alerting bus operators, coordination with Negros law enforcement for the child named Dudong. Every minute counts. Let's build this into ordinance-backed protocol with real-time coordination and accountability. So here's the CERP details and implementation. Terminal safeguards for children, mandatory ID guardian verifications, children's desk presence, reasonably suspect hold powers at Bulwa and all major terminals. So proactive checks, not reactive. C, community alert and rescue network, SAR for children. SMS and WhatsApp child alerts, citywide enlist drivers, terminal staff, barangay volunteers. Rapid mobilization structure tied to PNP, NBI, and DSWD. The moment a child is missing, everyone's eyes and resources turn inward instantly. So, strengthen, letter D, enforcement, strengthening the enforcement of a rich existing ordinance. Pass implementing rules and regulation, IRR for ordinance number 13394-2018 and the anti-OSAEC ordinance clarifying who, what, when, how, and designating sanctuary, safe rooms, child protection offices at nodes like terminals, schools, backed by clear protocols. E, transparency and report mandate, monthly child protection scoreboard, missing child searches, launches, recoveries, enforcement actions, time to response metrics. Let the public see if we can deliver. So OSAEC remains rampant. DSWD Region 10 confirms that the OSAEC is the highest trafficking form in Region 10 with 75 cases. In fact, I asked attorney sa CSWD and attorney Celeste, from January 2025 to July, 9 cases na ang report na traffic. And that's a lot. So we cannot wait. Every moment lost may mean that a child is lost forever. Madam Presiding Officer, honorable councilors, let us act decisively now to ensure that Dudong is found, that no child ever vanishes unguarded under the watch, and that our ordinance become powerful shields, not just paper shields. Let this council rise decisively and prove that every parent in Cagayan de Oro, that their child is valued, defended, watched, and safe. This is not just about one child, Madam Chair, but this is about every child. We must honor our duty, our laws, and our humanity through urgency, clarity, enforcement, and accountability. I therefore move that we revisit Cagayan de Oro City Comprehensive Children's Welfare Code and its IRR so that timely and responsive measures can be institutionalized and cemented through an amendment. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Yes, Councilor Janjan Rodriguez, you have the floor.
Madam Chairman, thank you for recognizing me. As Chairman of the Committee on Social Services, I express my fully support for the call of the Honorable City Councilor Desiree Ann Dahino on the urgent matter of addressing child trafficking and its grave implications to the welfare and future of our children. Madam Chairman, for the record of this August body, the 20th City Council enacted City Ordinance number 15079, 2025, entitled An Ordinance Creating the Cagayan de Oro Golden Justice Zone, principally authored by Vice Mayor Jocelyn Rodriguez and Councilor Balaba. This ordinance addresses not only online sexual abuse, but also all forms of child exploitation, including trafficking. Last August 19, the Executive Committee on the Justice Zone, headed by RTC Executive Judge Arthur Abundiente, formally took their oath before our city mayor. Even before they took their oath, they have initiated advocacy programs against online sexual abuse and exploitation of children. Further, our city mayor has committed a financial allocation of 5 million pesos to strengthen the operational capability of the Justice Zone of Cagayan de Oro. Further, the Honorable Vice Mayor in May 22, 2023, filed her ordinance entitled Anti-Human Trafficking Ordinance of Cagayan de Oro, enhancing our existing ordinance on human trafficking. This will be refiled soon with me as one of the principal authors. As a member of the Council for the Protection of Children and other special bodies mandated to safeguard the rights and welfare of our children, I affirm that we will remain aggressive in intensifying our fight against all forms of child abuse, online sexual exploitation, and child trafficking. I remember last July 17, Madam Chair, with our CDO, Cagayan de Oro Justice Zone, our local government unit, of course, our councilors, together with Councilor Desiree Dahino, Councilor Amy Moreno, and from our ABC President, Councilor Marlon Tabac, and together with our CSWD, we attended the event Kabataan Panalipdan. It is a barangay awareness drive against human trafficking and online sexual abuse or exploitation of children. Madam Chair, let it be declared that any form of child abuse, exploitation, or trafficking shall never be tolerated and must have no place in our city. This is not only our duty, but our commitment. Thank you and good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. I would like to explain the Golden Justice Zone. It was approved last year, okay? This is in coordination with Supreme Court. So, dili ni basta-basta nga ordinances. So, when the Supreme Court was here and the Department of Justice, the DIL, Supreme Court, DILG, Supreme Court, DOG, and DOJN. Diba usa? Tulo. No. DLG ba to si Kuan? Si Benhur Abalos? Okay. These are the three big partners. Actually, this is coming from them. I just made the ordinance to strengthen the protection of these children, no? Especially on online exploitation. So, it had been approved. Niuyo na si Mayor, and in fact, Councilor Janjan was right, gitagaan ng 5 million to start initially to have an office so that we can activate. So maadtuan na sa mga ato mga tao for help, no? They have this series of seminars. Until now, nagya po yung series of seminars. They're trying to perfect this protection because it's not only in the Philippines, but then we have a partner, the European Union in Europe, where we can have a high-tech, what you call this, the high technology that the Philippines can provide in connection dito sa Europe. So, na may connection sa Europe, so there's nothing impossible to be checking on in the Philippines. So, asa na ni nga bata and how we will be able to prevent. So, eventually, naatay office for that and we will strengthen the protection for these children. So hopefully, nga mahuman na ni Mayor, we thank Mayor Clarence Soy for the support, the financial support of 5 million so that they can start on this program, on this ordinance. So the other ordinance that you have to refile because wala to na-approve. So that is a very good program. Hopefully that this can be strengthened in the committee level and we will never stop there. We continue to help our children, to protect our children. Thank you. Kisa pa din is task kamot. Yes, Councilor Eric Salcedo, Councilor Antoy Pascual.
Daghang salamat, Madam Chair. Ngayon dako katawran pero ay ara ko mangayo pag special report nako.
Ha?
Ngayon dako katawran sa imo, Madam Chair, pero ay ara ko pag special report para dili na ma.
Pwede ka, kay ikaw pa primero pa man.
Madam Chair. Kung atong ang observation, Madam Chair, kumpleto naman ta og balaod.
Yeah.
Nana. Pero ang problema, ang question ako is, kinsay mag-monitor dito down to barangay sa mga kunay mga human trafficking. Salamat ko ni Councilor Junjun Rodriguez kaya na-mention niya ang City Council for the Protection of Children nga diin mo tutok yun mo monitor as a whole sa Cagayan de Oro City. Kung down to barangay is BCPC.
Yeah.
Muna, kay pila na ko kay balik-balik, Madam Chair, nga kinanglan na to i-strengthen na to ang CCPC.
Correct.
Strengthen na to ang BCPC para ma-implement na to ang balaod. Kompleto naman ta. Nanay funding, nanay balaod.
Yes.
Pero ang kulang, kinsay mag-monitor down to barangay.
Okay.
Oh.
Can I?
Kasi,
Okay.
muna,
Oh.
Madam Chair, nga, I hope, pinaagi sa committee ni Councilor Junjun Rodriguez nga may strengthen ang CCPC, may strengthen ang BCPC para na monitor down to barangay.
Correct.
Madam
That is a
Chair.
very good idea. Actually, when I was still a barangay chair, I encountered same problem. This is online sexual exploitation for the child, no? Sunday, somebody was knocking sa atong gate, Councilor John. Then what I have to do is report immediately. Dili na ninyo langay-langayon. Report immediately. I reported to the, I think, NBI, CIDG, on the spot. Kuha gyud. Kay on the spot, sakpan ma. So, kung mahitabo ni sa barangay, we do not delay. We immediately inform. We immediately report. So, now that we have this golden justice zone, then nana sila opisina in coordination, NBI and our partners, no, sa enforcement of this program, so mas sayo na. But then, barangay level, hopefully sa barangay level, masugdan na gyud ni siya sa barangay level. Dili gyud pwede unya-unya. If they detect something, mo ng BCPC is very important, o katong sa BPC and yeah, importante kay na, kay para ma-monitor, dayon ma-report. Mao gyud na ang pinaka-importante nga ang barangay hopefully can empower for the protection of children. Okay, kisa pa tayo ng pata. Councilor Antoy Pascual, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just an addition to what has been discussed, I would like to include the Committee on Tourism because we can help launch a citywide 1343 hotline campaign with our tourism partners and also maybe follow up on the mandatory reporting across internet cafes, hotels, resorts, and boarding houses if they see suspicious
Yeah.
happenings.
Yeah, that's good.
That's all. Thank you.
Yes, Councilor Jan Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We already had our third quarterly meeting last month sa CCPC. Base sa ilang mga giingon, no, mga data, I guess I was with Councilor Malutabak as being the ABC chairman, no, sa atong barangay affairs. Importante gyud, Madam Chair, ang atong barangay. Kay ngano, dito gyud makita daw ang mga bata, alarming kayo kay nasa usa ka balay, daghan kay mga bata. Oo, dili ka eskwela, abi nila nagsugod daw na, Madam Chair, gyud ang grabe kadaghan na mga inana na gagahitabo sa barangay level because during the COVID. So mao kana importante gyud kay ang ilang pasumangil pag gyud sa mga kaniadto mga especially mga parents pa, Madam Chair, ang gahibog
Yeah.
gapa-live sa ilang mga anak. Nya alarming kay ngano daghan kay mga bata sa usa ka balay. So mao kana na ato gyud i-alert permi ang ato mga barangay officials, especially ang mga tanod kay pag masakpan din sila, Madam Chair, dadon sila sa barangay, paghuman ang problema pag sa barangay usahay ila ibalik kay
Kanan.
after 48 hours. Oh,
Precisely what?
so, balik-balik lang yapon ang sistema sa kaning atong online sexual abuse sa atong mga children. So, we have to also kinahanglan gyud ang barangay mangusog gyud ani gikan sa barangay level. We will do our best sa amo pud sa
Yes.
sa atong CCPC na level. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Actually, this reporting immediately is very necessary. You don't have to call the parents anymore. Pag magkita na nimo, go. Adto na. Seek help from CIDG, PNP, whoever, NBA. Kay diretsoon gina nila. Now that we have also this Golden Justice Zone, this is the ultimate siguro nga grupo because they are with the partnership with NBI, ang tanan, mga justices, mga kuan. So, that way, nanagin mo yung maantuan. Ug nanagin maprotektahan na gyud ang mga bata from the barangay. Dili na talangay-langay kay sa barangay magud tagon pag ginikanan ngano man ni. No. Go immediately. Seek help para diha on the spot masolbal diretso because we cannot solve ourselves. The only way for us is to do sa barangay is only report right away. Mao gina. Anyway, so wala na. Ano pa? Okay. Adili, same topic. Same topic? Napay, okay. Councilor Des Dahino.
Thank you, Councilor John Rodriguez, for the addition. I appreciate that. The Golden Justice Zone. Thank you, Vice Mayor Bebo Rodriguez. I would like to also add, kay usually, daghan kay parents reklamo ani, kay during Councilor Inday Dahino's term, katubitang mandatory ID verification at terminals. Some are inconvenienced by it. Some are legitimate travelers with their children are inconvenienced by it. So we recognize that not all families, especially, the low-income backgrounds, have government issued IDs. So that's why the proposal includes flexible community-based verification, such as barangay-issued travel clearances. Yes, natay ang OSAEC online, but sometimes, but usually trafficking, dali ra kaayo sa mga terminals, dali ra kay malabnot ang bata. Sa airports, strict kaayo ang airport na mangitag IDs. But however, ang terminals, dili kaayo. So that's one.
Okay.
So I would just like to include that, Madam Chair.
Okay,
Thank
sure.
you.
Sure, okay. So, Mana, then we go to the next speaker. Councilor Enrico Salcedo, you're recognized? Oh, wait. So refer to the committee, social services, women, tourism, kaya nasa headline, public order and safety, and barangay affairs. So 5. Okay, thank you.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Sa akong mga kauban sa Konseyo, my fellow honorable councilors and the people of Cagayan de Oro, maayad na hapon sa tanan.
Excuse
Meron
me.
pa po, meron.
Excuse me, no. There is a complaint that Maayad is still not nag-contest na because historically, way back, there is what do you call this? Na mura binireklamo that is not the right word for now. So let us just that will come later. No, let's just ano muna this not use it for now para in respect to those nga ni claim nga that is not the right word to say. Sa ato lang sa session, no? Dini lang sa session.
Mayong
Okay, thank
hapon,
you.
Madam Chair. Kinahanglan nato i-revisit ang City Ordinance 13378-2018. Otherwise, known as the Integrated Ecological Solid Waste Management Ordinance of Cagayan de Oro City tungod sa duha ka butang. Una, pagpainumdum ka nato sa atong shared responsibility bahin sa isgutanan sa basura. Labi na karon, Madam Chair, nga problema kita sa collection. Kita kita to problema sa collection. Pero I'm sure Madam Chair nga masulbad ning collection. Pero ang sunod na sab atubangon nato nga problema kining pag-segregate na sab sa basura. Madam Chair, muna nga ato ning kay i-revisit kay pinumduman nato ang atong mga kaigsunan nga kining basura i-shared responsibility bahin isgutanan sa basura. Ikaduha, kinahanglan dungagan og adunay kinahanglan usbon para sa kayuan sa atong kabaranggayan ug syudad. To improve the effectiveness of the current solid waste management ordinance, the following measures are recommended. Article 2, 10-year solid waste management plan. Nakabutang sa kasamtangang giimplementar sa 10-year solid waste management plan sa atong syudad nga na-adapt adtong 2018 ang pagmugna og separate na opisina nga matutok sa solid waste management sa atong dakbayan. Article 4, mandatory segregation of solid waste. Dili nato mabasi ang shared responsibility sa matag usa ka nato, hilabi na ang segregation sa atong basura. Section 6, segregation of waste at source. Kini usa ka painumdum nga ang segregation should be primarily conducted at source or point of origin. Tato pa, Madam Chair, household mo nang responsibilidad sa atong mga kaigsunan nga kinahanglan nga mag household level para lugar sugdan ginato kung maayo unta, Madam Chair, before ta motudlo sa atong mga kaigsunan sugdan nato sa atong kaugalingon mismo kung ang pangutana si Eric Salcedo ba nagsegregate ba sa iyang basura.
Nagsegregate ka?
Ha? Kaloy sa Diyos, Madam Chair. Segregate, pero na ay problema. Kaya ang problema manggod segregate ta, pakabot dito, sago lang gyapon, mix lang gyapon. Muna dia ang problema,
Yes.
Madam Chair. Okay, segregate si Eric Salcedo. Kaya di na lang kumutudlo sa uban, sa ako na lang kaugalingon,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Correct.
Oh. Nagsegregate si Eric Salcedo, pero pag-abot dito sa sa collector, mix lang gyapon.
Councilor, that is the challenge now.
Oh, okay, correct, Madam Chair. Muna,
Okay, padayon sa akin. I'll give my comment, no?
Section 7, Rule of the Barangay, LGU. Diri nakabutang nga ang barangay mao'y responsable pag-kolekta sa biowaste o sa ito pamalata nga basura o recyclable or reusable waste. Article 5, Establishment of Material Recovery. Diri ang problema, Madam Chair. Section 10, MRF established, there shall be materials recovery in every barangay or cluster of barangay. Ang problema ani dagan barangay ang walay area. O gikinahanglan tabangan gyud sa syudad aron matagan o sakto nga pagtagad sa pagbuhat sa ilang kaugalingon nga MRF o makakolekta ang barangay sa biowaste o recyclable materials, Madam Chair. Og matud pa sa Section 11, the resulting residual non-recyclable and non-reusable waste shall be transported sa atong sanitary landfill, sa ato ba
Mo ni ang responsibilidad sa city, Madam Chair. Nga ang residual ang city na. Section 11, Public Education and Information Right. Section 37, Education Campaign. Nakaputang diri nga ang city government shall conduct continuing education and information campaign on solid waste management to develop public awareness. Ato kining bag-uhon tungod kay dili lang unta ang Clenro mag-IEC, Madam Chair, kun dili appeal ang barangay sa pagtuman alang sa mas lapad nga dissemination sa balaod labi na kining waste segregation. Article 12, Incentive Mechanism. Kinahanglan nato usabon ang kasamtangan nga pamaagi nga matagaan og incentive instead na ang bayad sa barangay kay per kilo man himuon nato kining per cubic. Kung unsa ang gibayad sa gi-hire nato nga private contractor, mao usab ang rate atong ibayad ngadto sa barangay para mahisgusgan kini paghatag og kadua, Madam Chair, sumpay lugar nga bayaran sa syudad o labi na matagaan og dump truck ang matag barangay, Madam Chair. Para kung naay problema, for example, karon problema tas collection, at least masampit na to ang barangay, Madam Chair, nga sila na yung maghatag o niya masustain. Kay kung unsay gibayad sa private contractor, mo man say gibayad ngadto sa barangay, Madam Chair. Mo na Article 13, Jurisdiction of City Public Agencies. Napoy observation man gud, Madam Chair. For example, APO. Ang APO shall provide technical assistance such as training and promotion, acceptable technology on composting and livelihood development on processing of biodegradable and compostable waste. Ang pangutana, Madam Chair, nakatuman ba sa obligasyon sa APO sigon sa nalatid sa maong nga ordinansa? Article 15, Administrative and Enforcement Mechanism, Section 60. OBR issuance, kinahanglan ma-deputize ang barangay sa paghatag og OBR og tagaan sila og share. Kung makadakop ang barangay kay gi-deputize na sila, Madam Chair, sa penalty nga gibayad, kinahanglan nga matagaan og share ang barangay para effective kayo ang atong enforcement sa matag barangay. Especially ako lang yun naman ang atong ABC President, especially sa mga commercial. Madam Chair, kay nga naman, kung pwede, pinagi sa atong ABC President ni Councilor Marlo Tabak para makontrol ang establishment, kung pwede, i-repeal ang ordinansa nga ang City Hall o ang Treasurer mo'y nangolekta sa barangay or business clearance. Kay dili man na para sa ako, Madam Chair, tinod na is of doing business. Pero separate naman ni nga LGU, Madam Chair. Dili sab siguro pwede nga ang ako lugar, akong understanding, mas maayo magyud nga ang barangay ang mangolekta o ang barangay magbuot kung pilay kolektahon sa business establishment. So sa ako challenge sa atong ABC President, i-repeal na nga ordinansa para makontrol sa barangay sa labi na sa pag-implement sa solid waste management, Madam Chair. Naman to, ma-deputize dire sa article kini Roman numeral, Madam Chair, maglisod ko sa na ako basa. Article 16 naman siguro ni. Penal provision. Atong ilakip sa pag-penalize ang badlungon nga private contractor sama sa naitabo sa TENCIL, Madam Chair, nga dili mutuman sa ilang responsibilidad sa pagpangolekta sa basura, Madam Chair. Kini kung ma-revisit or na mga amendments siguro, Madam Chair, at least lugar makatabang sa atong dakbayan. More to tanan, Madam Chair, I hope nga kini akong exhibition report ma-refer ni sa Committee on environment. Daghang salamat ug may hapon kanatong tanan.
Thank you very much. Very good report. Yes, is that on the process na? I-meet inyo pa ikuan, i-discuss whether that's possible or na natay murag padulong na ta dito.
Nana ko'y proposal pero mas gwapo man gud ipaagi nato og consultation, especially dito sa barangay level, Madam Chair. O sa
Okay.
mga different government department. The city department, Madam Chair.
Yes, let us empower the barangay. Kay kung hugaw yung barangay siya sa doon, dili ang syudad, okay ra. Yes, Councilor Roger Abaday, the Councilor Janjan.
Daghang salamat, Madam Presiding Officer. I am glad nga gi-brought out na sa akong busing sa environment sa my chairman. Member man ko. Now, I would like to inform the good reporter that I have a pending ordinance already. I think it was thoroughly reviewed by the committee, in my committee. In fact, one of that is the proposal of the city vice mayor regarding the collection of tipping fees in subdivision. And the other one, embedded in the ordinance, kining collection, payments for hazardous waste nga ilabay sa atong hazardous facilities dito sa sanitary landfill. Now, I am pleasing the secretariat sa committee sa environment to keep in track on that ordinance, whether that proposed ordinance by the reporter, Councilor Salcido, o nabutang na ba na dito sa kanang ordinance that is pending now. I do not know if it is in the city legal office or in the laws and rules. So may I ask the secretariat, labi na sa Committee on Environment, if what is now the status of that ordinance? Para kung doon naman galing new, additional, newly discovered kanang mga idea sa atong bagong chairman sa Committee on Environment, we can infuse there in that ordinance if necessary. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Councilor Janjan? Yes, Councilor Marlon Tabak.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will commend our good councilor from Barangay Gusa, no, Councilor Enrico Salcedo. I would like also to inform and ask, by the way, first I would like to ask, napulihan na ba ang atong tensil?
Daghang kayong salamat, Madam Chair and Councilor Rodriguez. Siguro, kasi dili ako ang person gid ang mutubag ani kaya ang mutubag gid ani ang end user man ang Clenro. Pero sa akong naibawan, sigurado ko nga dili na tensil ang mangontrata sa atong dakbayan. O ako lang ikuan noted tong gikuan ni Councilor Abaday, Madam Chair.
Mr. Chairman, sorry. A second question regarding sa atong incentives, no? Base sa mga uban na mga reports magud sa ako, according to Barangay Lapasan, Barangay Nazaret, taud-taud na pod wala nakadawat og incentives. So, do you have the what you call this, the data as of kanusa ang nakadawat kay I think na marag ang Lapasan mo rag 1 year na wala kadawat og incentives from the city.
Incentives in what sense? Ano gikan?
Labay yung basura, Madam Chair. So ang barangay
Madam Chair, bayad.
Bayad sa barangay.
Yes. Kay dagan
Kay kung
na
nasa-
bayubay na pod ang barangays.
Okay.
I know barangay what we call this, our ABC president would agree also na ubay-ubay na gyud ang atong mga kabarangayans, nagareklamo gyud sila na hangtod karon wala gyud sila kadawat og incentives from the city. So I would like to ask our good gentleman from Barangay Gusa.
Isa na, Madam Chair, nga atong i-improve kung ma-revisit na nato ang ordinansa. Kay i-appeal nato gyapon sa ipatawag man nato, imbitaron man nato ang Clenro. Nga una, kung sa hinungdan nga wala pa mabayari. Second, kung nadugay kinahanglan bayaran diretso kay balok ta. Gagi sa kog kapitan, Madam Chair, kung unsa gyud ang kinahanglan kung mangolekta og basura.
Okay. So that will be discussed in the committee level.
And lastly, Madam Chair, I would like also to inform our good councilors, no, especially our councilor from Barangay Gusa, sa east of doing business, Madam Chair, it is high time for us to really look into it and amend na kinanglan nato ibalik ang atong autonomy sa atong barangay. Kay nawala na since katong COVID na pandemic, katong pagbago. Imagine, Madam Chair, SNR will pay 1,000 to the barangay and atong cafeteria 1,000 na po ang basic eatery. So parehas lang, 1,000 for all. And then, Madam Chair, I would like also to include, kung mag-committee hearing man ang atong chairman sa environment and of course sa atong business, i-include po nato, siguro, Madam Chair, atong i-classify, reclassify our barangay clearances as to the business.
Yeah.
Kana lang, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Amendment,
very
Madam
much.
Chair, i-repeal yun.
Oh, did you discuss in the committee level?
Madam Chair.
Kay, you know what I have observed is pareho tanan. Dako nga na businesses o gamay pareho ang gibayaran. So dili fair sa mga gagmay nga mga negosyante. Anyway, Councilor Marlon Tabak, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to extend my appreciation to the Committee Chair on Environment for including me in the technical working group to revisit the Ecological Solid Waste Management Ordinance. And I would like also to inform the good Committee Chair, Madam Chair, that this representation soon will send our invitations to all because we need to have a mandatory deputization of our barangay officials in terms of the issuance of the violation ordinance, Madam Chair. And this representation also would like to inform this august body that I had conducted already the first meeting of the Committee on Barangay Affairs, and there are lots of barangay ordinances, especially in the tax ordinance of the respective barangays, to answer the question of Councilor Junior Rodriguez about the ease of doing business. And the Committee on Barangay Affairs will fast track the committee hearings of the respective barangays in terms of their proposed barangay ordinances, especially in taxation, Madam Chair. Thank you and good afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Councilor Chris Goking.
I'd like to express my enthusiasm na we're going to rediscuss or revisit the ease on doing business kay kani nga problema dugay na nako ni nadunggan sa mga kabarangayan mo ni sa usa ka balaod nga gi-amend sa panahon sa akong papa. So aside from atong solid waste management, the reclassification of unsay metrics nato sa pila imong bayran kay to re-empower the barangays is a concern nga permi ako madunggan nga dili kay nila ma-enforce ang ilahang political will kay mura sila nakapon tungod sa amended nga ease on doing business. So as a committee chairman of Trade and Commerce, I'd like to participate in that discussion.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilor Chris Goking. So we refer to the Committee on the Business Enterprise, Environment, Barangay Affairs, Trade and Commerce, Health. Okay, so that's it. Anyway, our next speaker, Councilor Roger Abada, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Presiding Officer, my colleagues in this 21st City Council, ug sa tanang naminaw, umitanaw karon sa atong regular session. Labi na sa tri-media, no, kay this was already nabaniog na ni sa atong social media. No? Now, this is an offshoot. This special report is an offshoot on the controversy surrounding the city's order to implement a signal shutdown. Shutdown, not signal jamming. So during the Higalaay Festival event. Now, this action was criticized by a business organization official who called it as a Jurassic idea. Ang pag-implement daw nato sa kining signal shutdown is a Jurassic idea. Speed Jurassic, kurang panahon pa na sa mga dinosaurs or it's the things of the past, kinaraan. Muna ingon sa critics. So, but anyway, as clarified by our NTC director, Director Ted Pinabista, the term signal jamming is a misnomer. Warag, wala masabti. As the city's action was not signal jamming, but it is a signal shutdown. Para ba ni og para sa balawad ba nga mistake of fact and mistake of identity. Kung mistake of fact, exempted ka sa criminal liability. Ang identity, although mitigating, but you're still liable in crime. No. Now, if we talk of signal jamming is per se illegal. It's illegal. But when we speak of signal shutdown, it is a prerogative of the state to implement for security of the citizen, under general welfare clause. Especially nga ang atong mga core events was open in public. So that is the brief distinction between signal jamming and signal shutdown. So mo inibawon sa tao nga ilang tamudmod, ilang kasuko kay nag-jam kuno. But anyway, now the critics argued that the shutdown is an outdated practice and not in other major Philippine festivals like Cebu Sinulog, Iloilo's Ati-Atihan, Dabao's Kadayawan. So this report examines whether the practice is advantageous and legal or disadvantageous or illegal. Now, what is the justification? You know, before the NTC will issue a signal shutdown, it goes with the process. Magsugod sa recommendation gikan sa atong kapulisan or intelligence community. Sila ang mag-recommend, sila ang mag-evaluate as far as the security situation in the community or in the city. Aya pa na nila ipasa sa atong chief executive, the mayor, and the mayor will be the one to request the NTC, and the NTC will still request to the higher offices. No, lisod kayo ni dili ni basta-basta nga i-issue lang ning kining signal shutdown. So muna, now what is the justification of the city? Why the city mayor recommend it that idea? Now, based on my research, primarily the justification for signal shutdown are the following. Number one is for public safety and counter terrorism. Remember that our locality, our situation is not like the area in Cagayan de Oro, Mindanao, is not like the area that was mentioned by the critics, Cebu, Iloilo, Bacolod, and Davao. No? So the geographical area of Cagayan de Oro is not the same. So the purpose is to prevent remote ang kaning kwan god ang kining signal shutdown. This will prevent the remote destination of explosive device, especially ang cellphone signals in large crowd. Katong shutdown, localized lang ang gi-shutdown, dili whole Cagayan de Oro. Katulang gagian o giheld ang ato mga core activities. Dito lang siya, no? So then the second justification is disruption of criminal communication. So this is to hinder communication among criminals or terrorists operating within our area if there was any, no? Then control over drones. Kasi di ba kung ano yung mga drones ka lupad, di ba? So that is to disrupt the control of signals and of unauthorized drones. Now, the critics said that there was a disadvantage. Oh? There was a disadvantage of the shutdown. Now, despite the purported benefits, signal shutdown still there was advantages. As cited, there was disruption of emergency services. There was impact of critical infrastructure. For example, disruption of wireless system essential to event operation and electronic ticketing point or seal system or APEC business. Then and there is a legal and ethical concern. In many countries, signals shutdowns are declared illegal for non-authorized entities. So dili basta-basta ka lang mag-shutdown or jamming if the authority is not authorized to issue that order, no? So this raises question about the public rights or to communicate. Now, remember that it takes a second to lose the life, to destroy or damage the property once there is kung dili nato na impose kaning ano. So ang gihimo sa atong syudad labi atong mayor mao gyud ang pagpaniguro nga safety ang atong mga kinabuhi, lawas og honor og mga kaptangan sa atong katawhan dinhi sa syudad sa Cagayan. That is the principal reason that the city mayor has recommended to the NTC about signal shutdown. Now, my recommendation as a chairman and is practicing criminologist, I recommend to the committee later on as part of post-evaluation about the layered security approach as a cheaper alternative to a blanket signal shutdown. So, atong estudyuhan, i-recommend na to sa mga atong mga committee. Kaning involved na ni Committee on Commerce, Committee on Tourism, Committee on Public Utility, and what other authority. Then, in my committee, we will recommend if there is possibility that we will no longer impose, the city mayor will no longer impose this signal shutdown in the next or cities activities. Kay nahimo man lagi daw sa ubang lugar na atong testingan kung mahimo ba sa Cagayan de Oro nga dili na ta mag-signal shutdown because of its adverse effects, no? So muna nga akong i-recommend that this special report there aside from my committee this will be referred for the committees which I have mentioned to discuss the matter whether we will improve, we will be able to adapt as what the critics said nga ngano daw nga gi-adapt nato nga idea nga dili ba day makahimo ang syudad og mga kalingawan kung dili i-shut down ang mga signal sa Cagayan de Oro. So we will that is a good observation and recommendation. Then we will have this to be discussed so that for future use of this idea, Madam Chair, my colleagues. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Refer to the, yes, Councilor Chris Goking, you have the floor.
I think ang dapat i-refer nato ng mga committees is beyond what was recommended by Councilor Roger Abaday. Kaya aside from the businesses, what's also affected is our capability to provide health services and education ragapon in the absence of signal. So I would like to propose na appeal na mo ko sa committee nga meeting if we can also invite the Committee on Health, Security and Education to give their take on the signal jamming and what they
What
can
is the
recommend.
connection of health?
Kay in events nga there's no
May
signal,
emergency.
to transfer or to contact healthcare providers.
Okay,
So
good.
same thing gapon sa pagbayad sa ATM. I think sa POS machines walay signal, so it also sets back payments.
Then education.
Education, schools will have to adjust. Usually maputol ang klase and that's also an impact gihapon sa ato ang
Okay.
affairs.
So, refer to the Committee on Education, Health, and Public Safety. Public Utilities. Is an order. Okay. Okay, that's it? Okay. Majority Floor Leader, Attorney Edgar Cabanlas, you have the floor?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. We proceed to our business of the day. Item 1, Turk, please.
Item 1 is for omnibus approval of proposed resolution numbers 2025-2024 up to 2025-25. Declaring as operative in their entirety effective on the date fixed therein, the barangay ordinances of the herein specified Sangguniang barangays covering the respective annual budget for calendar year 2025 to wit. A. Ordinance number 1, series of 2025 of the Barangay Council of Barangay Tumpagon with an estimated income of 5,869,245 pesos. And B. Ordinance number 1, series of 2025 of the Barangay Council of Barangay Bisigan with an estimated income of 5,136,729 pesos.
Madam Chair, may I request the Councilor Yan Lamlim be recognized.
Councilor Yan Lamlim, you are recognized.
Madam Chair, may hapon sa tanan. Everything is in order. I move for the approval of purpose resolution number omnibus approval of purpose resolution number 2025-24, 2025-25.
Any second? Objection? I hear none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second. Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 2, proposed resolution number 2025-26 declaring as operative in its entirety, effective the date fixed therein, resolution number 003, series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay number 17, the city covering its annual budget for CY 2025 with an estimated income of 562,636 pesos. May I request Councilor Kenneth Jan Sagala be recognized?
Wala na, official.
May I move, Madam Chair, that Councilor Abade be recognized?
Councilor Roger Abada, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Budget Report. I move that the proposed resolution number 2025-26 be approved.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second. Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 3, proposed resolution number 2025-27, adopting the order of the Committee on Ethics and Blue Ribbon on BR case number 2025-03C, entitled Dr. Siegfried Padua, DPA, HD, complainant versus Honorable Virgilio P. Agos, Honorable Edenfit T. Hong, Honorable Roland C. Hakutin, Honorable Giles S. Dingal, all barangay kagawad of Barangay Tablon, respondents for violation of Republic Act 6713, Section 4A and C, Section 5A, dismissing the said case for failure to prosecute due to the complainant's demise. I move for the approval of this resolution.
Any second? Objection? I hear none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second. Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 4, Turks, please.
Item number 4 is proposed ordinance number 2025-46, appropriating the sum of 219,479 pesos and 86 centavos from the item non-office economic services sector special purpose fund, land acquisition, expropriation in the 2025 annual budget to be made available for the full payment of the claim for just compensation of improvement building covered under tax declaration number G-346383 and owned by Mr. Carlito A. Silador, which was affected by the 10-meter wide proposed road from the National Highway towards Tablon Hospital Infirmary Facility located in Barangay Tablon, this city, and authorizing the Honorable City Mayor to sign the corresponding deed of absolute sale thereof.
Madam Chair, may I request Councilor Christopher Goking be recognized?
Councilor Chris Goking, you are recognized.
Yes, I move for the approval of proposed ordinance number 2025-46.
Second. Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second. Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 5, Turks, please.
Item number 5 is proposed ordinance number 2025-47, appropriating the sum of 380,923 pesos from the item non-office economic services sector special purpose fund land acquisition expropriation in the 2025 annual budget to be made available for the full payment of the claim for just compensation of the herein claimants covering their improvements, plants, and trees which were affected by the road opening from Sitio Leropan to Sitio Tubalon, Barangay Pagalungan, this city, and authorizing the Honorable City Mayor to sign the corresponding deeds of absolute sale thereof, to wit, claimants A. Josie S. Asuncion, the amount of 90,115 pesos. B. Luz A. Martinez, in the amount of 206,828 pesos. C. Ricamilo L. Anga, 47,478 pesos. D. E.D. L. Anga, 23,692 pesos. And E. Amalia L. Anga, 12,810 pesos.
May I request, Madam Chair, that Councilor Agaswan will.
Councilor Agasuan, you recognize?
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Move for its approval, Madam Chair, ordinance number 2025-47.
And a second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Madam Chair, may I move for the inclusion of items 6 and 7.
And a second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Item 6, Turks.
Item 6 is proposed ordinance number 2025-48, authorizing the Honorable City Mayor Lando A. Uy, representing the City Government of Cagayan de Oro, to enter into and sign the Memorandum of Agreement with the Department of Agriculture, Regional Field Office 10, represented by its Regional Executive Director, Jose Apollo Y. Pacamalan, covering the grant of 1 unit corn combined harvester for the use of the Balubal Integrated Forestry Farmers Association as recipient under the DA's corn program under the terms and conditions stipulated therein, certified urgent by City Mayor Lando A. Uy.
Madam Chair, may I request Councilor Antoy Pascual be recognized.
Councilor Antoy Pascual, you recognize?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This measure duly reviewed and cleared by our city legal office will greatly boost farm productivity and increase the income of our farmers. As chairman of the Committee on Agriculture, I move to approve a proposed ordinance number 2025-48.
And a
Thank you.
second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Number 7, Turks.
Item
Second.
7 is
Second,
Move to
finally.
approve on second final reading.
Okay. And a second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Number 7, Turks.
Item 7 is proposed resolution number 2025-28, expressing the 21st City Council's deepest sorrow for the untimely demise of Mr. Cesar Ayan Enerio Acenas, former City Vice Mayor for calendar years 2013 to 2019, former City Councilor 2001 to 2010, and former City SK Federation President 1996 to 2001, this city, and conveying most profound sympathy and condolences to the bereaved family.
Moved by all members present.
Any second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
Move to approve on second final reading.
Second? Objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby carried.
There being yes.
I forgot, it was the birthday of Councilor Amy Moreno, and we'd like to sing a birthday song to be led by Councilor Jing Daba. Please stand.
Sayawan.
Happy birthday, Councilor Aimee Moreno. Let's sing happy birthday for her. Let's sing and dance. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Faster, faster. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. How old are you? How young they? 26 years old? Or 24 siguro? 24? Magalibog ko.
Anyway, let us proceed. Lingkod.
There being no other matters to attend to, Madam Chair, I move for the adjournment.
Any second? Objection? Pag-ingon, objection, gaana ng kamot. Oh. Ready. Hearing none, motion is hereby carried. God bless us all.